Well, anyway, hello everyone and welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. And today we are here in Kidderminster in Worcestershire, the Wire Forest. And today we're going to go on the local service number 1 to Rifle Range, which is operated by DIA1 Bus, which is the main provider here in Kidderminster. So we're getting on the number 1 to Rifle Range, which was recently reintroduced this year to replace the Rifle Range in Kidderminster section of the number 8 that ran from Rifle Range to Hales Park. And I hope you enjoy the journey today. And the bus we'll have is a right street light, so I'm heading over to stand and I'll see you on the number 1 over to Rifle Range. So then here we go. To Rifle Range. So there we got Volvo B7RD Master Centro. That's getting prepared ready for a number 3 service over to Army Kings via State Airport on 7. So the bus we have is a light streetlight DF. Depot now. So there's the Kidderminster bus depot. Danish Triton Alex 400, which is named Julia. So anyway, here's the watermill. So this is the watermill. So we're on the Snowhall Road now. And just behind those trees is of course Brenton's Park. So this is Brenton's Park. Remembered going there when I was a kid. Like, I used to go to the water play area. There used to be a paddling pool in that section over there, but obviously that stopped. That closed because obviously due to stolen cable. And then over there is the splash pad, which is next to the existing play area. Because obviously there is a playground on that site. Now, as you know, this was what the one originally did up until 2018, and then it was rerouted to serve the Silverwoods Estate and the Wire Forest Leisure Centre on the site of the former sugar beet factory. And then in 2020, the number one was merged with the two, which went from Kidderminster to Hales Park. They were merged together to become Rifle Range to Hales Park, and the journeys were numbered to the 8, and that saw the reintroduction of Hamley and Park Hill Estates, which was withdrawn from the 2 corridor in 2018 because there was a short-lived 2A, but that didn't last long, so the 2A just continued to do Kidderminster direct to the Ribbonall Estate, and then on to Bewley, and then on to Hales Park. So the 1 and 2 were merged to form the number 8, and then 2021 there was only one journey on the 8 going towards Hales Park, with the other journey just going to Rifle Range as the 18. But and now the 8 has been scrapped, and the 1 has been reintroduced between Kidderminster and Rifle Range. The Hamley section is now covered by the rerouted 125, whilst and that also includes Casham's End, whilst Lawnless, and whilst the Hales Park and Park Hill section is covered by the 292 service, which goes from Kidderminster over to Ludlow. So we're now on the Rifle Range Estate. As you might have seen, there was a row of motorcycles. There must be a motorcycling event going on somewhere today. Service stopped operating, well, temporarily, between Kidderminster, not Kidderminster, I mean Bromsgrove and Alzoin, and then was replaced by a 44 service, not to go in the same way as the 202, as it wasn't on the same line. But obviously a lot of people back then petitioned to reinstate the 202 and to save the bottle service. And following on from that, the 202 service was reintroduced with the 44 being withdrawn. weather's starting to pick up. But obviously, that's how life is. When things change, you're just going to make the most of it before these routes change. Again, especially what might, because you don't know what might happen in years to come. Anything can happen. The flags around here are actually Worcestershire County Council, and so you've got Worcestershire County Council. So we're now coming on to the Sutton Park Road, so we just come off Rifle Range Road. Sutton Park Road is actually where the 292 comes down on the returning service from Ludlow. So as you know, we've got some nice weather today here in Kidderminster. Obviously, I know the weather's going to change again, but we will have lovely days like this. But we're not it's only just started, summer has. So we're now going downwards, and as you can tell, on the bus stop, sadly I'm not able to show you, but obviously you can picture out some old first Worcestershire bus flags, with remembering with first when they used to operate within the territory of Kidderminster. And it's really nice now that one has been reinstated. And also with the flag, so it doesn't cause any confusion to customers thinking, hang on, why couldn't they bring them onto this flag? So the time is now 10:29. So it's now 10:29. So of course we've got a takeaway, an auction service office, a cost cutter, news agent off licence. Got a cost cutter, so we're now going along these windy roads. Quite a few windy roads around here on these little tight built up estates. So now we're going down Poplar Road. So there's an army jeep. There's an army jeep. So now turning on Poplar Road. It's a nice route. This is the number one from Kidderminster to Rifle Range. And the number one being a local service in Kidderminster. So you've got loads of different locals here in Kidderminster. So not only you've got the one, you've got the Thames to Offmore Farm and Spennels. You've got the 15A and 15C to Stourport. You've got the 3s that goes directly to Stourport and then on to Isle of Kings, onto the Walshes. And as well as the 3, you've got the routes that go towards and then you've got the other local services that go to the north side of the town. And that includes the 7s up to Syon Hill, and of course you've got the 9A and 9C to Cuckley, Cornsall and Wolverley, and of course during the peaks you do have the 4s that goes over to Franch as well. So you've got the Franch run as well, that goes by the Co-op supermarkets, but apparently the Co-op in Franch is set to close. closed last year as well, so if you remember that. See an old pub sign, the ale sign. It's really interesting to see some old, interesting signage. That must have been an old pub at one time. I don't know. Maybe not. It's Cheshire's Premier Ale and Golden Ale. You can see with the signage. Today, it is now known as a Vision Audio Services TV video. And just on the left-hand side will be Britain's Park. It's splash pad's not in operation at the moment. But obviously one of the fountains is in operation. Obviously everyone's getting ready now for the summer, because summer will be here, the time is right, and everyone will be having barbecues. So we're now going down. So we'll be heading back onto the main Southport Road to then head back into the centre of Kidderminster. Behind them trees there used to be the old Sea Line building where they used to make boats, but obviously Sea Line went into liquidation. Well, they closed. It is a big massive building, the size as Wembley football pitch. Maybe it might be just like the size as Wembley football pitch, like 4 football pitches. Quite a huge site. So here's the island depot again, so that's Diamond Kidderminster. So we've got enviros in the depot, street lights, Solo, Platinum Centro, Eclipse, Urban, and also the open top decker, aka Julia, for 4100. Julius, that's the name of the decker. So we're coming by the Ulster, which used to be a Netto, so we've got a carpet factory shop. So carpets, so we've got a carpet place, 4-inch carpets today. So United Footwear. So we're now coming to the end of the route. I hope you enjoyed the journey on the one so far. Anyway guys, we're now coming into Kidderminster. Which burned down in 2011, if you remember. There was a fire nearby. So here's the Kidderminster College and the library.